Now listen, you might be the busiest person in the world, but you still deserve to eat delicious, tasty food. And that's what I'm doing with you in 30-minute meals. It's about what you cook and how you cook it. And I've created a menu today that is so brilliant. It's Jamaican inspired, it's got chili, it's got rice, it's got salad, it's got a whole load of stuff. A big old table. You just won't believe what you're gonna create in under half an hour. We've got killer jerk chicken, crispy skinned, with the most incredible jerk sauce that'll just blow your mind. I'm serving that with rice and peas, spiced but light and fluffy. That's gonna go with some char-grilled sweet corn and then a kick-ass chopped salad. And to cool it all down, you've got to have it with my coriander yoghurt. All of those 5 things together are gonna make the most brilliant 30-minute meal. So, if you want all of that beautiful food in under half an hour, you've got to get into the 30-minute meals frame of mind. Kitchen cleaned down, equipment out, board ready. I'm going to need an oven, so I've whacked an oven onto 220. I need a griddle pan for getting some character and flavour on my chicken and on my sweet corn. I need a pan for my rice. It's nice to cook it in something you're proud to serve it in as well. And a nice big pot. OK, with this on and a kettle whacked on, let's do some cooking. So first things first, the thing that needs the most cooking is the chicken. So we're going to do the jerk chicken and the jerk sauce first. It's a brilliant spicy combination. I want to achieve crispy skin on the chicken, make it juicy as well, and of course that slappingly beautiful jerk sauce, which is like my best thing in the whole wide world. So I want to use 4 chicken breasts here. They're free range, they've got skin on. You can get various other higher welfare chickens that are really affordable these days. Now, if you look at a chicken here, right, and we're going to get some chicken hands, so obviously hygiene's really important. This part of the chicken here is thicker and fatter than this thinner end here. So, to balance up that cooking time, I'm going to go purposefully to the thick end, and I'm just going to simply cut right in the middle, not to the end. So, go about 2 inches from the tip here, stab down, and go straight through the thicker bit. Now, what that allows is for all of the chicken to cook at a perfectly even time, which means it's all crispy and all juicy at the same time. It also means that the flavour can get into more of it. You want to get that jerk flavouring in. I want to go olive oil here onto the chicken. Going to go salt, little seasoning of sea salt on the chicken, and pepper, just those basic seasonings, and then slap the old chicken about both sides, and by now this griddle pan should be nice and hot. Then we're going to go skin side down first. So we've got chicken on, now it's time to make the jerk sauce. It's delicious. Everyone has their own version of a jerk sauce. This is my version. I'm using sort of ingredients that I've got available to me and that I love. It's basically a combination of fragrant veggies. So I've got some nice spring onions here. I'm going to use 4. And then I'm going to mix that with some garlic. I'm going to use about 4 to 6 cloves of garlic, you know, to your preference. I'm going to use one of these crushers just because it saves me time having to peel all these ruddy garlics, which I can never be bothered to do. Even as a chef, it's just boring and dull, so I'm sure it's boring and dull for you. What you can do is just pull the skin out once you've given them a good old bash. So, here we got the Scotch bonnets. These are my favourite chilli. I grow loads of them, I buy loads of them. Scotch bonnets. What you want to do is remove the stalk, OK? In there, we've got the seeds and the white sort of connective part, which is the hottest part. So what I'm going to do is just remove that. And what's amazing is everyone thinks chilli is chilli. That is so untrue. Some are mild, some are sweet, some taste of strawberries, some cherries. You know, I always think Scotch bonnets have got a kind of apricot-y kind of vibe going on. So I'm going to put 1.5 in there. You can put 1 or 3, whatever you want. So we've got the 4 spring onions. We've got the 1.5 Scotch bonnets in there, no seeds. We've got the 4 to 6 garlic cloves going in. I'm just going to grab some thyme and a couple of bay leaves. And actually, there's something quite Christmassy about these herbs. You know, if you think about it, a lot of the spices I'm going to add are quite kind of mulled winey. So really good for winter and summer. And also, you know, this being a kind of Jamaican sauce and flavour, you know, it's really hot out there. So, of course, it's the chilies and the sort of the sauce that really makes you sweat and cool down. So it's kind of reverse psychology there. And then it's time for some spice. I want about a flat teaspoon of allspice. Now, you can get this in just about every single supermarket. We've got a level teaspoon of nutmeg and a level teaspoon of cloves. Actually, some of the flavours that you'll get in a cola are in here now. Tutti fruity flavours. I'm going to add some vinegar and some rum. You want about 6 tablespoons of rum, so about half a wine glass. Rum being a really classic flavour from out there. I'm using cider vinegar, but any good white wine or red wine vinegar will be fine. A little bit of honey, just to sort of sweeten it, about a tablespoon, and then give it a season. There we go. That's just going to give it that sort of sweet and sour vibe. And a good pinch, of course, of salt and pepper. That's your seasoning going in there. And I like to put just a little bit of olive oil, 3 or 4 tablespoons, just to help mix up those flavours. So, in the liquidizer, whack it on. And it's going to turn into like a puree, like a slurry, a sort of slush. Oh, woo! Oh. It's when you can smell the chilli and it's sort of in you that you kind of get this high. Let's have a look. I can hear this chicken now. I want character. Look at that. That's why I love the griddle pan. It's one bit of kit that you've got to have in your kitchen, whether it's cooking steak, grilling vegetables, cooking a simple bit of fish. But that charring that you get obviously creates that incredible crispy skin that's lovely. So what's quite nice is, kit-wise, one of these really cheap earthenware type dishes you can pick up left, right and centre. So I'm going to get this jerk sauce together here, pour it in. It looks incredibly unappealing. It doesn't look particularly pretty. Have a little taste. Yeah! If that doesn't make you happy, then you really are miserable. Even raw and uncooked, it's got such potential. So at this point, I'm going to take the grilled crispy skin chicken and I'm going to submerge. Notice what I'm doing here. See, it's the little details in 30-minute meals that make you achieve excellence so quickly. We've got crispy skin and we've got that kind of character, but notice what I'm doing. I've made just enough sauce here to basically put the chicken breast in a bath of jerk sauce, but the skin is going to be untouched, OK? So I'm just going to move this about and tuck all these little bambinos in the bath. And what's going to happen is, as that cooks, like the jerk seasoning and sauce will just be blipping and sort of getting sucked into the chicken while the skin's getting ever yet crispier. I'm just going to grab some extra thyme and even rosemary if you want. There's no real rules here. But again, this is slightly to be camp and be visual, which is not an unappealing thing with food, but at the same time, it's about kind of reminding people what effort, love and care and herbs have gone into this. Look how beautiful that is. Straight into an oven. This will be nearly hot enough now. That will come up to temperature in the next few minutes and just be blipping away. OK, the next thing I'm going to do is the corn. What I like to do to it is boil it and then grill it. And you get the best of both worlds then. You kind of get that soft, sweet kind of pop, and then you get that char of flavour. You know, it just has a bit more attitude. And one thing's for sure, This meal has got attitude. If you've got mates coming round and you want to play it down, oh, a bit of jerk chicken, rice and peas, a bit of corn and some salad, but then you hit them with those flavours and that excellent cooking, and they're going to be blown away. So, the sweet corn is on, the chicken is bubbling away nicely in the oven. Now it's time to start my rice and peas. We're going to use 2 spring onions, just pretty much roughly chopped, no stress, just make sure they're nice and clean. Hack those up. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. Pan's on a sort of medium-ish heat. In there with the rice, this is just the base of flavour. I want a cinnamon stick. And it's nice to get it in there early. So just put the cinnamon in there. A good pinch of basic seasoning of salt and pepper. And then about 250 grams of rice. Normal long grain rice. This will do 4 people nicely. And then I'm going to use about a pint of chicken stock. Give it a little mix up here. Just simple, very, very simple. Now, of course, the classic that we've missed out on is the black beans. And you can get them. Beans in Tetra Pak are brilliant. I'm going to drain them first. There's actually nothing wrong with this juice. Actually, it's very, very good and very flavourful. But because of the black beans, there's a lot of colour in there. And I want to be able to see the rice and see the beans. So I'm just going to wash them off. So those black beans go straight into there. And they'll just kiss all those flavours. And really just mix it for a second. And you can just put a lid on. Full whack, boil that for about 10 minutes, then we'll check it. We're nearly halfway through now. We've got the sweet corn on, we've got the rice and peas coming up to the boil, and we've got jerk chicken blipping away in the oven. But I've still got to make my fresh chopped salad and the zingy coriander yoghurt dressing, all in under 30 minutes. I'm cooking the most amazing Jamaican-inspired feast in under 30 minutes. We've got sweet corn cooking away, we've got the chicken blipping away in the jerk sauce, and we've got the rice and peas coming up to the boil. I've got that beautiful coriander and yoghurt dressing to do, so I better get cracking. So we're going to do a lovely little flavoured yoghurt. You know when you eat like English mustard and like it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. Oh, calm down, but I like it. You know, do you know what I mean? That's what jerk's all about. And, you know, to help you calm down, you need a fire extinguisher. So about half a tub of nice yoghurt. Go half a tub, because you think you're not going to use it, but you will. And then I'm going to simply accent that with flavours that will complement. Just a few little stalks of coriander, fold them up, and just slice them up any old way you want. As fine is kind of cute. Again, refreshing. Coriander is so refreshing. You want to season it lightly with salt just to convince it it's not like a breakfast with a bit of coriander that's fallen into it. And then lime. Now, I'm rolling this lime here because if you look at the lime now, it's shiny and I've got oil on my hand. And if you want a bit of cheap, like, you know, what do they call it? Aftershave. I'm from Essex, you see. Most Essex boys have aftershave by the gallon. Apart from me, I was never that fashionable. I'm rolling it to sort of squash all of those capsules of juice so I can get more juice out of it. Sometimes you cut a lime and you sit there squeezing it and nothing comes out. You know, the idea is that this yoghurt is slightly too limey, right? And it's cold and it's refreshing. And that, with a piece of jerk chicken that's slightly too hot, is heavenly. And then once I've kind of got that flavour good, and you can adjust it if it needs more, I like to pick a few leaves of pretty coriander, you know, just because you're telling a story, aren't you? And also it's going to sit on the table and it's going to kind of look nice. So just some coriander on the top, a little bit of olive oil, and that is done. The corn here can come out now. Let's have a little grope up. When they're nice and soft, about 8 minutes is all good. Remember, you've got chicken juice in here, right? So let's get the corn in. I'll turn this pan. This is on a low heat. turning it back up again now. Give it a jiggle, and then I'm just going to drizzle a little olive oil on here just to give it a char up. Roll it in that, like that. OK, just going to char them on a few sides. Let's have a look at our rice. Nice. That's not far away from being cooked, you know. I mean, that's 6 minutes, and that's nearly cooked. I'm going to put the lid back on. Rice, nearly there. Corn, charring up, we're nearly there. Yoghurt, done. Chicken is cooked by now. I'm going to do a chopped salad now. I think the point about chopped salad is think of it as a principle, not a recipe. So with the pepper here, it's going to give me sweetness and a freshness, again, to cool that jerk chicken down. If I just get it here and push the stalk in, then I can split it open and I can take it out in one bit and not waste loads of that lovely red pepper. And then just cup all these seeds out. If you save these seeds and put them in a little envelope, let them dry for a few months, you can plant those very successfully and have your own peppers for next year. If you've got a little sunny wall or greenhouse or corner of a garden somewhere with a wall behind it. I've got some red chicory here. You can use any combination of salad you want. Think of it as crunchy, sort of sweet, refreshing, peppery. Mix it up a bit. That's the point of a salad, OK? So we got... And look, I'm literally cutting it up like a raving idiot. We've used coriander earlier in the story. There's no reason why you can't put it in here. Chop the leaves up, but then these stalks are lovely, totally edible, but just finely slice those stalky bits. And the nice thing is, whatever's down the market, you can embrace, you know. So that's a bit of romaine there, nice and crunchy. I'm just going to turn these sweet corns. Have a look here. What we're trying to do, the sweet corn is cooked. What we want to do is create these little char marks, OK? So just take care of those. Let's have a look at our rice. Now, that's what we want. That combination of 250 grams of rice to a pint of liquid is perfect. Can you see how it's literally, if I make a little hole in the middle, it's dry. It's perfect. The lid will go back on and it's turned off. Corn done, rice done, chicken done, yoghurt done. Let's finish this salad. If you haven't got a nice wooden board in your life, go out and get one. I don't care where you get the wood from, whether you cut a tree down and do it yourself. Get a nice chopping board that you can chop on and serve on. So let's do this now. We'll chop this salad up. You can see it's kind of going to fly everywhere. There's stuff falling off the board. But then you want to kind of go around and gather it all up again. And remember, you can use spring onions, different herbs, rocket, different salad leaves, or, you know, you can have cucumber in there. Let's just chop it up. Look at that. Right, it's chopped up nice. Now we just need to dress it. So we make a well in the middle here, just so we can see what's going on. I want to give it a hum. I want to borrow my friend Mr. Onion. I only need a fraction of onion, literally. That much onion, OK? Then I take, like, a grater of some description, a box grater, and just grate. And you're only going to use half of it because it's quite hard to grate. But what you're going to end up with is that. See that kind of sludge? That is going to give your salad a beautiful sort of hum, OK? Notice also I've only used a tiny amount, so it's not going to be oniony in your face. So a little bit of that comes off. And that's the thing we're cooking, tiny gestures of things make it delicious. 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil with the equivalent of 1 tablespoon of lime, so about half or a whole lime. Roll in, roll in, roll in. Gonna get that in. Squeeze that juice in. Season it with salt. Move it around. That lime juice will start cooking the onion, so it won't be a horrible, hideous onion flavour. And then bring it all in. And then fairy fingers again. Twinkle your fingers. And it'll fall everywhere. It don't matter. Dress it up. And I'm gonna have my yoghurt on the board as well. You know, if you want, you can get, you know, traditional old boring cress. And at this point, just sort of snip it on top in a big kind of clump. You know, give it a little wash beforehand. There you go, straight in there like that. Beautiful, look at that. So, chopped salad done. My sweet corn just simply needs to be plated up. So, there we go. So lovely boiled and grilled sweet corn. Again, a tiny bit of olive oil, right, just to make it sing, and just a little bit of that lime squeezed on the top. You know, of course you can do butter if you want. Butter and sweet corn is good. Olive oil's slightly healthier, but, you know, that's all good. That can go to the table. Then I've got the rice here. Nice and steamy. So what I'm going to do right now is just chuff it all up in the top. You know, I can smell that cinnamon just sort of affecting it nicely. And of course, again, with the coriander, feel free just to tear up some coriander and just sprinkle that over the top and just sort of mix that through a little bit. Beautiful. Look at that. Rice there. And then the pièce de résistance. That is my jerk chicken. And at this point in time, just for contrast, have half a teaspoon of honey. Give your taste buds a kick. Oh, what's that? You know, and look at that. That's what it's all about. Jerk sauce. Whoever invented it was a genius. Ooh. Yeah. Oh. And the great thing is, you know, this is probably why they have so much fun out there. That sauce just makes you immediately happier. Beautiful. Right, straight to the table. Come on. So there you go. Jerk chicken, rice and peas, beautiful boiled and grilled sweet corn, chopped salad to die for, and the refreshing yoghurt. All of that in well under half an hour. Who wouldn't want to get stuck into that?